All right, IED students. Today we are going to follow up on the lesson that we did on Friday that talked about not only the automatas, but the different types of motion that machines and mechanisms can have. So we're going to focus on types of motion, and there were four of them. There were linear, there is linear, rotational, um, oscillating, and reciprocating. Now, if you remember correctly and took notes on it, they kind of group together. So linear and reciprocating are in one family, and rotational and oscillating are in a different family. One having to do with parts of a circle and a circle, and the other one having to do with parts of a line and a line. So keeping that in mind and learning to learn a little bit more about it, we're going to look at these wind-up toys, and we're going to look at the mechanisms inside of them at least a little bit and see what types of motions they create and um, what how they work. A little bit about how they work, but the types of motion is the big thing. So this is going to be a series of shorter videos. Um, First one, I'm just going to demo each one of them real quick, and then I'm going to stop it, and then I'm going to create a separate video for each one. So we have the yellow ladybug. We have the, I don't know what this is, so we'll just call it a bug. We have a snail. And then this one is a little bit harder to see, but this is a crab. And they have unique motion, but similar motion. So we'll watch each one of them just real quick. So here is going to be the snail. Now, if you look at him from the side, you can actually see a little bit better about what he does. I'll get my hands out of the way. And from the bottom, you can see what he does. So he's got wheels that turn that allow him to move. He has got an oscillation or a movement of both his tail and the head. All right, so that's one. We have the, I don't know what it is, bug. And let's see what he does. So he not only goes back and forth, but if you look at him from the side, you can see that his pincers go up and down, along with he's got wheels that turn. It's very hard to see with this camera, but the wheels are turning. We have the ladybug. The ladybug does have wing motion. He's a little bit hard to see sometimes, the wing motion, but let's see how it does. I'm trying to get him to. So you can see the wing motion just a little bit. The wing motion is not much, but it does have a little bit. And that's really the only motion it has besides it spinning. But we do have wings that lift up every so often. And then lastly, we have Mr. Crab. So Mr. Crab has a unique motion as he walks sideways. So you can already imagine on all of these things, we are going to be winding up what they call a clock spring. This is where the energy comes from. This is where the power comes from. It is wound up by turning the handle in a rotational motion. So therefore, when the power comes out of it, it is definitely rotational power, or it's rotating to give its to start the motion. But if you didn't see anything else, what kind of motion would you describe this to have? And I'll hold him up like this so you can see it better. So there's some kind of either reciprocating or oscillation that's going on there to make him walk sideways. So all of these critters are like that. And so we are going to take each one of them partially apart and see if we can describe the different types of motion they have. Now, as I'm saying this, I'm going to wrap this video up. You're going to have to take notes with this. So we have the bug, we have the ladybug, we have the crab, and we have the snail. And you're going to need to make a spot in your notebook that's going to describe the different types of motion these have, not just externally, but internally.